Okay, I'm waiting for the room to be quiet before we start. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for your patience and being part of the second part of the program. Hopefully you enjoyed the pitches, the various pitches that were done by our students. Let us give them a round of applause. Just a one comment that I want to make, dear colleagues and future entrepreneurs and businessmen and women. A very important thing that you need to learn, and please do this when you go to boot camps. I've noticed a pattern. We need to prepare for our presentations. Ane? Stand in front of your mirror every day. Rehearse your presentation. Rehearse your presentation. Look at your tone. Look at your pitch. Remember, this is your baby. This is your baby. You must show interest in your baby. Do you understand? So please keep this in mind. It's a positive criticism that I'm giving, which I'm hoping will help you colleagues in the future to make you better presenters. Remember, this is your IP. This is something that you've been dreaming about. It's your vision. You must sell it to us and make it believable. Are we together? Okay, great stuff. All right, I know that it's been a very long day. We are probably very tired. I think it is befitting that I call this gentleman, who's very well known in the country. It's been one of my favorites since the Pure Monati days. Pure Monati show, he was wearing a suit, a cow suit, running throughout the country. I was like, what's wrong with that man? But I enjoyed him. He's one of the guys that I enjoy going to his shows at Emperor's Palace. And he is running a very big production called Blacks Only. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce a person who's going to make us laugh, Mr. David Kau. He's the leading African comedian and synonymous with manifest at the age of 32 years old, born from Kroonstad. He began his career as a first black stand-up comedian in 1998 in Smirnoff Comedy Show in Cape Town. He became the only black person on stage out of 44 comics. Since then, he has been headlining numerous comedy festivals and he performed his own comedy specials. He also created and hosted a stand-up comedy called Blacks Only. In 2006, he was the host of the 3rd Channel O Music Video Awards. The following year, he was a co-presenter of the Nelson Mandela 46664 concert. In 2008, he was the recipient of the inaugural Mzansi Comedian Award at the first annual Stars of Mzansi Awards. His competitors in this category were Loisa Gola, Mark Lottering, and Craig J. Governor. David is the host and judge of the SABC 1 reality talent show, So You Think You Are Funny. He premiered on Channel 4 in November 2008. Let us give a huge round of applause for David Kau.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I had prepared good morning, but you guys had other plans. Can everybody hear me? I'm getting cut off. I'm not sure why. How are you guys doing? Is everyone fine? Kupa, a little bit more volume. I want to try and put the mic here and not like rappers and put it here. But try not to record. That's a lot. That's that's now an ANC tender amount of volume that you have. It's way more than I'm going to spend. I will have to give you back some of the volume after this. The sound is cutting. I don't know if it's just me. Is it just me? Maybe just to introduce myself. I don't know if people know this, but I actually went to UCT. I don't know how many people know this about me, and I always make it very clear wherever I go. I introduce myself and I tell people I went to UCT. I never ever want to be accused of having lied about having certain qualifications, because remember, in South Africa you can't just go to vets. You need your fingerprint, you need a student card, they've got spikes. Don't cut the show, please. Enjoy the show. I'm here, you are here. You know what people who record do? They come here, they spend an hour, they do this for an hour, they're like this. And then they leave and they go home and then they do this for another hour. I'm like, that's not very innovative. But imagine if you worked at a bank. Where do you work? What do you do, man? What do you do, boss? What do you do? Student, let's say you're a student and one day I just arrive in the lecture room and you're there just studying, and I just take out my phone and I look at you for 4 hours. I'm just there with my phone. Or you work at the bank. You work at the bank, you're there counting money, You're counting money. I just arrive, I take out my phone, there counting money. There's always that 120 rand just leaves all the other 20 rands and flies out. And then you have to start from scratch. Oh my God, baby, 20 rand, that's it. And then you have to start from scratch. The sound is cutting, I'm not sure why. It can be very tricky for what I do. Anyway, I was saying I went to UCT, and as I was explaining, you can't just go to vets. You can't just go to UWC either. There's one gate for pedestrians, one gate for cars. But I went to UCT, and I'm very clear about this. I don't want to be accused of lying about qualifications. I went to UCT. Because anyone can go to UCT. There's no fence. There's no fence at UCT. Anyone can go. I never said I graduated or I have a degree. I said I went to UCT. In fact, you guys might know this or understand this. If you want, I don't know how many institutions you've been to, my brother. You are in the front row, so you are going to be a reference for the whole day. It's between you and Professor and the king of Dalinge was cousin. You guys are the front row, so. so I always have to tell people, this is the beautiful thing about going to UCT. You can literally, and you must do this, you can walk up to your employer, maybe a funder, in this case, with your ideas, and say to them, on top of all my qualifications, on top of my experience, and this beautiful, innovative idea I have, I also went to UCT. Just leave it there. Just don't expand. Don't go into details. You're going to put yourself in a very uncomfortable situation. But here's the best thing about it. You've got Jameson Steps there by UCT, Jameson Hall, one of the most famous landmarks all over the world. Go to UCT this year, before the end of the year. Take a selfie, because now you can, with the technology that we have. Go to Jameson Steps, take a selfie. Go back again next year, 2024, take another selfie. Go again, 2025, take another selfie. Walk to your boss, ma'am, professor, walk up to the dean or the vice chancellor or the minister of education and say to them, Minister, on top of all my certificates and professorships and PhDs, this was me in UCT in my first year. This was me in my second year. Don't say you studied anything, just say. But I come from a small town in the Free State called Kronstadt. Forgive me if I'm distracting you. I know I'm walking up and down the stage, but you guys are in innovation. You would understand. So I'm wearing one of those watches, because this is how we live our lives now. We're looking for steps. I know I'm pacing up and down. I might be distracting to some of you. I need a minimum number of steps every day. This is all we do now. We try to get steps. Everything we do in our lives, we're trying to get steps. But also because there's that medical aid that pays for nothing. Yes. Tell them you have 10,000. What? How many steps today? 10,000. Give him a smoothie. Oh my God, give him a smoothie. Yeah, but my heart is falling out. Yeah, but we don't cover that. But take the smoothie. Take the smoothie. Did you tell us you have a heart when you took the medical aid? Did you see the small question there? Do you have a heart? If the answer is yes, does it beat? Did you answer that? Give him a smoothie. Yeah, but I've got 15,000 steps. Give him a large smoothie, large. But we're there every day. We're just going up and down in our lives. Eh? We're going up and down. The other day, I've been married almost 16 years. Almost 16 years, right? December will be, don't clap. December will be 16 years, Mom. Yeah? Now I'm there. I'm hoping, anniversary is coming. Maybe my wife night is going to be special. It's around 10 p.m., Professor. I'm hoping, hey, let's see, maybe my wife has something for me. You try to touch your wife. Hey, I'm praying. Hey, Batum. Okay, then you're waiting. Hey, 10:30, she's still praying. 11 o'clock, she's still praying. Why don't you also pray? Now I'm there, I'm praying for her to finish praying. It's 11:15 now. It's 11:15. I'm 45 now. I'm falling asleep. It's 11:15. It's 11:30. You're just hoping. You're like, maybe there can still be something. The anniversary is around the corner. 11:45, my brother, you think this is it. Say, 11:45, 12 midnight. You think this is it. It has to happen now. I'm not making this up. My wife jumps out of bed. Shit, I still need 400 steps. Oh my God, I still need 400 steps before midnight. I'm not making these things up, guys. This is, like I said, I'm 45, and say I'm going to ask you to come back on stage and continue the program. I'll come and interrupt again, and then we'll wind it down. But like I said, I'm 45 now, and I'm not speaking on behalf of all men that are over 40 or over 45. I'm speaking for myself. I wake up, I have to take vitamins to stay up. I need to take some pills to stay up. Then around 11, I need to take, around 11, I need to take a nap to prepare myself for the main nap. I need to rest a bit to prepare myself for the big rest. At night, when I have to go sleep, Professor, I must take sleeping pills because there's a lot happening in the world. The other day there was hail, the car's damaged, insurance is sending SMSs, and then there's also other SMSs you get. Yeah, sir, you haven't paid your City of Joburg account, but if you have paid, please ignore. You know those ones. Hey, they always start, you haven't paid your account, we are going to cut the service. If you have paid, please ignore. All of them, they come. So they don't stop. There's emails, SMSs, and I'm taking a sleeping pill to sleep now. I'm taking sleep. The problem is I'm married, like I said, almost 16 years. Then you've taken a sleeping pill to sleep, but now everybody has gone to sleep. Everyone is going to sleep. And the problem, if you are married, being married is a surprise party. It's like a lucky packet. One night your wife might just say, come love, make love to me. And then you're like, wait. Now you must take more pills. Wait, love, wait, give me 10 minutes. You're looking at your watch. Oh my God, the heartbeat is so slow. But sir, please come back to the stage. I will come back a few minutes later, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck with the awards. Good luck to all the participants. Thanks very much for having me. Thank you. All right.
Wasting time, colleagues, let me introduce Ms. Matabo Nakene Mkingi, who's the Vice Chancellor ICT, CIO at Unisa, is a strategic leader and innovative thinker. She's passionate about creating effective solutions that deliver results. At Unisa, she is executing the ICT digitalization strategy to deliver technology lifecycle management that enhances student success rates, high research output, enables the curriculum. During her tenure to date, she has saved the university 26 million in expenditure by leading the adoption and the use of Moodle learning management system. She has successfully enabled examinations on the LMS in 4 sittings. Let us give a huge round of applause for Ms. Matabo Nake Ngingqi.
Probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, but very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. By why, I mean what's your purpose, what's your cause, what's your belief, and why should anyone care? The inspired leaders and the inspired organizations all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this: we make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? People don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have, the goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe. If you hire people just because they can do a job, they'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears. Something called the law of diffusion of innovation. The first 2.5% of our population are our innovators. The next 13.5% of our population are our early adopters. The next 34% are your early majority, your late majority, and your laggards. That if you want mass market success or mass market acceptance of an idea, you cannot have it until you achieve this tipping point between 15 and 18% market penetration. So it's this here, this little gap that you have to close. Because you see, the early majority will not try something until someone else has tried it first. And these guys, the innovators and the early adopters, they're more comfortable making those intuitive decisions that are driven by what they believe about the world and not just what product is available. These are the people who stood online for 6 hours to buy an iPhone when they first came out. Leaders hold a position of power or authority, but those who lead inspire us. And it's those who start with why that have the ability to inspire those around them or find others who inspire them. Thank you very much. Simplest.
Slides. Good afternoon. As we, is this better? Right. I'd like to talk to you today about what I've learned about innovation. And I think I'm talking to the experts of innovation because we're going to be sharing awards here this afternoon. But perhaps there's a few pointers that we can share together. So, are you connected to the why of your work? And I wanted us to reflect on that question from Simon Sinek because it resonated with me ever since I saw it the first time a couple of years ago. The why. That if you're developing a product, it sells to the people who believe in your why. Are we connected to the why of our work? Why do I think that that question is important? Because I've come to learn that if you're going to be a leader that innovates in whatever space that you're in, it starts with you disrupting yourself. You almost have to deconstruct yourself and put yourself back together again in order for you to be able to provide that edge of innovation, of thinking differently, of looking at things from a different perspective. I went on a development, okay, guys, help me here, because the screen, now we're together. So I spent some time on an executive development program, and what was a key takeaway for me is that really the message is around, if you're going to be an executive leader in the era that we live in today, in this VUCA world that we live in today, you have to understand the process of innovation and how that starts with you disrupting yourself. So it gave me the opportunity to go on a journey to understand why I think the way that I do, why I do the things that I do. Professor Shirzad Shamin is at Stanford, and he's in psychology, and he has this message about knowing your inner saboteurs, about understanding why does this particular thing make me react this way or trigger me in this way? And he says there are these voices in our heads, you know, judges. He names them in the various profiles that he's come to coin them out of his research. And his theory is, by understanding why we think the way we think, what happened in our childhood that has affected our decision-making processes? How do we see ourselves? What do we tell ourselves every day? I then went on this journey of self-rediscovery, where I had to think about, there are these sayings that I say to myself that are actually contributing to the way that I think. And I had to reflect. I ended up going back into, shucks, this happened when I was 5, and this happened, I think, when I was 8. And I then plotted a journey of all these different life events that have happened in my space, in my life, that then have influenced how I think. And through this process, I disrupted myself out of the role that I had into the role that I have now. Because I took the time to think about, why do I think the way that I think? And I had to deconstruct who I am and reconstruct to be now a part of this 150-year-old institution that graduates 37% of the graduates in South Africa. So when we disrupt ourselves and we ask those critical questions, we then create the opportunity to really think differently and to tell ourselves different messages. And it was eye-opening for me, because then I started doing it with my children. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. My older children are at university and high school, so I focused on the younger ones. And we got into a process of, what do we tell ourselves every day? Because I realized that there are certain things I've been telling myself all my life that were actually, I needed to tell myself different voices, different messages, so that I could become the leader that I now stand in front of you here experiencing myself to be. Isn't that amazing? That it's inside you. You have the power to disrupt yourself. It starts with you. The innovation that you'll be receiving awards here today, for it to continue and for it to really, really take you to the next level, it's really about how you disrupt yourself and what you tell yourself continuously in your subconscious every day. And the beautiful part is we can unlearn all of those messages, because we can become conscious about them and actively decide to do things differently. I also think that when we are innovative leaders, it's because we lead by questioning. We challenge the status quo. I don't think we would be handing out these awards this afternoon if you didn't ask, is there a better way to do that? Maybe there's a smarter way, a faster way, a cheaper way, a much more exciting way, a much more sustainable way. And that's what innovators have come to learn do in their own spaces. They create that courage to innovate because they ask questions, they challenge the status quo. But then I think you guys also observe, and you network, and you experiment. And all of that creates an associational thinking that then gives birth to certain ideas. And I think that we lead by questioning when we start understanding ourselves and our environments a little bit better. How do we do that? Why do I say that? It becomes possible for us to lead by questioning, to observe, experiment, try new things, because when we're conscious of the way we think ourselves in respect to the outside world, we can then manage our biases. Think about it. You have an availability bias, and I got this from Dr. Jeff Eugen Chen, who teaches innovation at Gibbs. You have an availability bias, you have a confirmation bias. But bias affects the way that you see the world and how then the world sees you. So the availability bias is all the relevant information about the concept and the idea that you're working on. The confirmation bias is there's relevant information, there's how I see the world, and then there's the information that you use. Because of the way that I used to think about myself, I then got to convince myself that I could never be in an executive team. You know, all of the messaging that I was generating, I then started to see these things that reinforced my view, my confirmation bias. Yeah, it's because I'm a woman. Yeah, it's because, you know, they'd never consider me because all of that confirmation bias started to fit in with how I was seeing the world. But the minute I chose to tell myself a different story and to practice that consistently over time, I started to see things differently. I stopped making excuses around, it's because I'm a woman and they are men. I used to manage a portfolio at Airports Company, which I would say, shucks, I'll give you an example. When you go to the airport, you have to see the details of your flight. If you don't, you can possibly sue the airport company because they didn't tell you where to go for your flight, at what time, and therefore you missed your flight. So it's the responsibility of the airports company to tell you at every available opportunity where you're going and why. And now Airports Company also does that through an app, which is a project that I did just before I left for Unisa. So that investment was one of my responsibilities. So the screens, everything that you see there, the Airports Company has to make sure that that work gets done, it gets replaced, and they're able to recover it from the tariff, which is what you pay when you buy a ticket with an airline. And so that's just the ICT part with the equipment. But I worked with other portfolio leaders who are male, and they are engineers. And AXA is an infrastructure company predominantly. So they would have budgets 2 times, 3 times the size of mine, because if you don't develop the infrastructure, the company will not be able to recover the tariff. So I carried with me this bias for so long that they were getting their approvals on their projects easier, faster than me because it's a broerskap, you know? They've also all the guys, you know? They're all engineers. And so when I challenged my bias, I then realized that that was just an excuse, really. It's because they were leading by questioning, and they were able to grab the attention of the decision makers. They were not afraid to go and test their ideas on the ground at the airport, to manage the stakeholders' expectations, to bring together the different players, both industry and inside the organization, to be able to drive what they believed in. They were leading by questioning. They were changing the space around them, and they were not making excuses. When we make excuses, we're the ones who hold ourselves back, and your ability to innovate then gets reduced. I'd like to think that as you sit here today and you're looking forward to be a recipient of one of those awards, that you're very clear in your mind that the bias, you know how to determine the differences. You know that this is the availability bias, this is the confirmation bias, and this is where I stand in how I see the world, because I choose to see things differently. I choose to be on the forefront of change. And I choose to bring something into my space that isn't already there. Okay, my screen here has changed, but I think we're fine because it hasn't changed here. Guys, Bongumusa, just so you know. And you're too far ahead. Go back. Because now I'm not controlling it anymore. You're controlling it. Thank you. So, as I was saying, when I stopped seeing the world in that way and seeing what couldn't be possible and seeing what is possible, and that it's not because, you know, and by the way, all the guys that I worked with, I had to look at them like this, which has been the story all my life. But when you stop making excuses, all of that is just your bias. They don't see that. They are seeing what you're doing, the value that you're bringing, and what you're contributing. And that's why I was able to grow year on year the portfolio expenditure within ICT. By the time I left AXA, I had been part of investing over $1 billion into AXA infrastructure to make sure that it's maintained and the business can run as expected. And so managing bias is very important if you are in the business of leadership, you're in the business of change. Because innovation is not just for specialists who want to bring new products, who want to change the way we do things. Innovation is even for us who are in administrative roles, in teaching and learning roles, which is the environment that I've come to join now at Unisa, and it will be 2 years in February in that role. Even us, innovation is in what we do, how we think differently about the problems we need to solve. And so it is important for us in our roles, irrespective of what you do, to understand that, hey, just keep it at the back of your mind that you do have biases and they do affect how you see the world. But if you are conscious of that and you manage them, you open the door for you to do really something special and to really bring the value that you should be bringing to the table. Let's go, guys. Innovators, I believe, understand that they have different profiles. They have different personas. They understand their characters. They understand their strengths, and they play to them. One of my strengths is how to dissect a problem. You know, one of my coaches told me that. You should focus on that. Very good at understanding a problem, how to dissect it, and then to say, this could be the solution. And so I started working on that. He said to me, you're very good at knowing how to view something, but also bring all the facts and the rationale about how to solve the problem. And I think it's because I enjoy design. I enjoy how to solve a problem from beginning to end. I have a side passion of enjoying how to make spaces look beautiful and pleasing to the eye. At some point in my career, I got a diploma in interior deco. So it's just one of those things that I enjoy, how to solve problems, how to get to an outcome, and really go through the journey. And so I believe that yourselves, as innovators, you understand your characters, you understand what your virtues are, you understand your why, and so you know how to create the different personas for certain things that you need to deal with. For me to transition and disrupt myself into this role over a period, I would say a good 3 years, I started working with this profile of the person who can speak truth to power, who can stand for what she believes in. And sometimes you can identify somebody you know on TV, maybe a favorite show that you like, somebody you know personally, you know, in your network. But having that kind of different personas of how do I tell my truth? How do I say this, I believe this is what we should do, and how do I stand for it? And so sometimes you create a profile, and then you start saying, this profile, what would this person do in this situation? How would I describe them if I were to describe them? And you carry these things with you that are part of your arsenal, that then help you to walk into this journey of innovation. Someone who writes about power would say, sometimes that's why when you go into certain areas, because people put on a persona, they would know that, I'm short, like me. So if I want to really position myself and really take charge of this environment, I'm going to wear the shoes that are going to make the sound that would introduce me as I walk in. And then they plan, as part of that persona, how they would sit. And then immediately they take over the room. Here's another good example. Donald Trump, when he meets people, he always makes sure that he grabs the hand, brings it into him, holds it this side, and then he shakes it. That's the persona. He's telling you, I'm in charge. I'm the guy. And then you're going to believe everything he tells you. You're going to believe it. That's why he said, I can walk, years ago apparently, he said, I can walk into Central Park and shoot someone, nothing will happen to me. What's happening now? He doesn't pay tax. He's not going to jail. He's defying all the court rules to say you need to shut up. He's not shutting up. He could possibly be the president of the United States again because he understands his personas and how he needs to come across and what persona to use when. I'd like to believe that's why you are sitting here today as an innovator who's potentially getting an award. Because by disrupting yourself, by leading with questions, by understanding your bias, and by managing different personas in different situations, that's how you have found yourself in this journey. That's how I found myself in this journey, to understand what those profiles are, what the personas are, and when to use them. And sometimes it seems elementary, because I had to write that persona down and kind of see it every day and change what I tell myself and do affirmations and get my kids into the swing of it, of what we tell ourselves every day. But I've learned that it works. It works. And that's how you start to change the way that you think about problems. And what I love, one of my colleagues is here, Kanye, Dr. Tuabu. She likes to tell me, Sheiks, I like the way your mind works, but you kind of need to slow down. Just bring it down a notch so we can follow. But it's because when I sit with her, and she's in multimedia, but she's also a researcher in education and technology, what I like is that she thinks differently from me. And I bet that's the other thing you guys are good at. You know how to surround yourselves with people who think differently from you, and then how to tap into the relevant persona that plays to the strength of your character. I like the way she thinks. She doesn't think like me. I'm very analytic sometimes. She's a creative. So what we share in terms of character strength and virtues is consistency, discipline, hard work, commitment, following up on things, see them through, and produce high quality work. So understanding these personas and how to play to your strengths, I believe that's one of the strengths or the special things about innovators such as yourselves. Next slide, please. So, what is that character that you have that is your strength? I also had to learn that a leader that innovates also works on being a multiplier. Because you work and take time to understand, deconstruct, and reconstruct yourself, you also take time to understand those around you so that you can bring out the best in them. I had to learn a technique. At my best, who am I? I just told you, I think I've told you two things. One I was told by a coach, the other one I was told by Kanye. At my best. I then had to learn how to tell the team around me, at your best. Why do we do that? Because we want to activate the best self out of the people that we lead so that they will buy our why. They will buy the message. Why? Why should I work with you, Matau? You're a slave driver. You don't take no for an answer. Always want me to do more. But what you want is you want your team around you to not even be thinking that. What I live for is for the team around me to say, we lead technology lifecycle management at the University of South Africa so that there is student success rate, there is high research output, and we enable the curriculum. And for the team to continue to buy into that why, I need to learn how to activate the best self of others so that they can tap into their personas and bring that into work. So when I joined this team, one of the conversations that we had was, who are you at your best? And then I started to see some of the colleagues light up. You know, I like to play with technology. I like it when things work out like this. I like to be able to help people. And I started to see this connection, this thread, that in essence, everyone here really wants to contribute, wants the institution to succeed. Here are the challenges that they see, and they are willing to activate their best self and to use their characters so that they can become a part of the solution that we're all looking for. That's what I learned. I think within the first 3 months, I learned that, hey, I'm leading just over 200 people, but a good percentage of them, they all want the same thing. They want the university to succeed. So how do we then solve the problems that have been identified by the different stakeholders that we work with? I had to learn that to activate a best self and to have that very genuine person-to-person conversation with the person that you work with allows you to see things from their perspective. They open up. You can see their perspective, they can see your perspective, and then you create a common ground on which you then build for you to walk the journey together. There's a gentleman I used to work with. He struggled a lot about being consistent, you know? If he says he's going to do something and really do it. If he says, I'm going to deliver this thing, Matabo, on the 30th of November, I might get it 2 months later. It will still be a good product, good quality, but I didn't need it 2 months later. I needed it 2 months ago. So I realized that when we started having this conversation and I'm saying, hey, Leon, you know what I've learned? At your best. And we had a couple of those conversations. I started to see a different Leon. A Leon who says, if I'm going to do it, let me manage your expectation better. You know, I like to overpromise, but I think instead of saying this date, it'll probably be more realistic to say this date because these are all the things that I still needed to do. And then we were negotiating and we were finding a common ground and how to proceed forward. So when we leverage character strengths and shared values and virtues, we can be, as innovators, as leaders, a multiplier effect. Next slide, guys. Leaders who are innovators understand change. That's another thing that I learned. If you're going to be leading in this environment that we are in, Professor Karen Schiepers shared this, which is an adaptation of the Kota model of change, ADKA, and she added some of the aspects and therefore collaborated with other researchers to release a book that talks about this. You need to understand change. So, here you are, you've disrupted yourself, you have an ethos, you say, I'm doing this thing because of this. So, at Unisa, I'm leading digitalization because I believe we need to enhance student success rates, high research output, and enable the curriculum. So we have an ethos that we are living by. But we must manage our biases and then also manage ego. You know, it's not about me. It's about those students that we graduate that are 37% of all the graduates in South Africa every year. So mastering the ego and learning how to be a multiplier effect and how to play to people's strengths and that it's not necessarily about you. It helps you in the journey to leading change, to leading innovation, to being one of those that will stand here this afternoon and receive one of those awards, at least to my mind. The other part of managing change is how we explore. And I think that's what you guys are very good at. And maybe that's why there was a pitch parade that took a little bit longer than we thought this afternoon. Because from exploring, you create that aha moment. My 3-year-old likes to do that. She says, aha, I've got an idea. And I think that that eureka moment comes from all the different explorations and experimentations because you lead by questioning. Then that takes us to the point where we envision, what is this thing about? What do we plan to achieve? What could it do? Is it viable? But we are envisioning because now we are thinking about the future and what this thing can bring. And then we engage, manage the different stakeholders, bring them together. Then we start on the journey. What is it that we are introducing? How will it affect you? How will we manage the impact? And we execute. Once we have executed, we evaluate, and then repeat. We do it all over again. That's probably why you're in the game that you're in, because this is what you enjoy, that you get to do it all over again. But in essence, leading and being able to innovate, I do not believe is possible if you do not understand that you need to lead with that change management in mind. So, with that understanding, what have I done? I'm going to talk about Dr. Tuabu again, because she's the one who's leading this process. In fact, I'll give her credit. She created this slide with a couple of other colleagues by taking the incremental innovation framework that we've put together and articulating it on how we need to work on innovation projects. So as part of the digitalization that we are leading at Unisa in ICT, we have taken the concepts behind design thinking and this whole process that I've just spoken about to you to create how we introduce incremental innovation into the work that we do. And right now, we're working on different ideas. How could we use blockchain technologies? Because the power of blockchain is understanding the origination of a transaction, that there's only one original source. We're looking at what we could do with 3D printing. We're looking at how we could do things differently when we do assessments. We're looking at how we can use the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning. I mean, I'd like to think it's exciting stuff. Maybe not as exciting as the stuff that you're doing and the reason why we're here today, but certainly has the potential to transform how we enable student success rate, high research output, and the curriculum. So it's based on design thinking principles and this process, and you'll find it generally in a number of frameworks. Guys, next slide, please. That's why in a number of research, ICT-driven research discussion papers, you'll find something similar to what is punted by Gartner, but there's other research houses who would also give that view. But all of them, they're talking about idea generation, idea evaluation, and value creation. But we have to talk about how we do that using data, from a data-driven insights perspective, and how we then create data-infused products and data-infused business models. I would argue that some of the awards that you're getting here today are already applying this framework in one way or another. Next slide, please. I would therefore then like to leave you with the following points. I think leaders such as yourselves, who are leaders that innovate, understand how to deconstruct and reconstruct yourselves, and therefore disrupt yourselves. And I think it's important to understand that that is not a once-off exercise that you do, but you actually do it quite a lot. Because to lead through innovation is to challenge the way that you think and the way that you manage your bias and your perspectives and how you come across to the people that you want to buy your why. Leaders who innovate lead by questioning. You're constantly asking the questions and exploring and finding different ways to do it. You manage your bias and you understand and manage change. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Once again, let's give her a huge round of applause. Thank you, Matabo. If there were nuggets that I were to take home or part course from her speech, The last one is the one that stands out the most for me when she says, leaders who are innovators, they understand change. Just yesterday, one of the presenters that we had, she said, innovators thrive on absurdity. It was the first time I heard that phrase, and it made a lot of sense. Because people who are not innovators, they might look at something and say, this is absurd. But an innovator would look at that as an opportunity to make life out of it. When I was listening to you, Matabo, I was reminded of the famous poem by William Ernest Henley that is titled Invictus. The very last line, if you follow the poem, the very last lines, he says, I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. So when you reflect on yourself and you consult with the mirror, you must constantly do that and say, who am I? Then you say, I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. Thank you very much for that inspiring presentation. Now, I'm gonna take a leave of absence for the next few minutes and invite Prof. Brown to be able to join me on stage for the Research and Innovation Postgraduate Student Showcase. Let me welcome Professor Brown to announce the RNI Postgraduate Student Showcase Awards. As well as I would like to invite both Prof. Meiwa and Prof. Mbata to join on stage to hand over the awards to the deserving recipients.
Good afternoon, colleagues, students, and friends. Our participating students in our showcasing competition. I was sitting, listening very attentively to Prof. Matabo. And it moved me, it challenged me. But I've been challenged the whole week by these innovating students. And it reminded me of the quote by Marianne Williamson in her book, A Return to Love. I'm just gonna read the first two lines before I start calling out the names of our recipients. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And innovation should be in all of us because we are all powerful beyond measure. Allow me to announce our recipients of this very immaculate awards, well-deserving. In the first discipline, natural and physical sciences, our winner in the best oral presentation category within the master's qualification is none other than Nonkululeko Malomani. Now, I do want to apologize, Director of Ceremonies, in advance, because this is from the discipline natural and physical sciences, and the kind of terminologies they have there, it might sound like swear words, Vice Principal. Apologies in advance. The title is The Photodynamic Antimicrobial Activity of Morphin Conjugates Against Biofilms for Applications in Water Storage Systems. It sounds very innovative. Trust me, it is. Believe me, it is what it is. Very innovative. non-Kululeko. Congratulations. But we know, colleagues, that students are competing in different categories, so we have a first runner-up and a second runner-up. So our first runner-up after Nonkululeko is Thabo Creswell Dlamini. And it's one of those challenging innovations. Let me read the title: Growth Performance, Nitrogen Retention, Remunal Fermentation of Meat Master Lambs Fed Barley Sprouts. Whatever it is, have a conversation with him afterwards. A hearty congratulations to Thabo. Our second runner-up is Michelle Nicolene van Wyk. And her title of her presentation is Validation of Drug P. I don't know what is drug A, what is drug P, but this is drug P. As an anti-cancer drug targeting retinoblastoma binding protein 6. Not protein 4, protein 6. Have this conversation afterwards, please, colleagues. Then, colleagues, we had students on all qualifications, and in the doctoral category, we had Oyandi Sense as the best oral, with the Best Oral Presentation Awards. The title, Potato Peel Waste Transformed, Biocar as Cost and Eco-Friendly, Adsorbent for Toxic Metal Loss from Coal Mine Drainage. Another one that you need to have, if you have some drinks outside, please speak to her. Colleagues, those are our recipients within the discipline Natural and Physical Science. We will now move over to the discipline Social Sciences, and in this category, we had students participating at honors and postgraduate diploma level. That was very inspiring, that students don't wait for a master's qualification or a PhD registration for them to challenge innovation, but at a very young or early journey in their studies. And in our virtual, a student who participated virtually as our best oral presentation recipient is Benjamin Chayamiti in Social Sciences with the title, The New Digital Era, How Visionary Business Organizations Foster Digital Transformation in South Africa. He certainly has to connect with Prof. Matabo, because that's almost the gist of the message I got there. Then our first runner-up in the honors and postgraduate diploma category is Kumbulani Kele. Ironically, with a very interesting title, we are just celebrating people with learning disabilities in the past few weeks. mobilizing testing for learning disabilities, an innovative solution for inclusive education. Then, colleagues, I move on to our master's category. In our master's category, we have the best oral presentation winner is Tipe Samuel Malisenya. Tipe Samuel Malisenya. Is Tipe here? Tipe is not here. We will move. Oh, yes. All right. Thank you, Samu. On the behalf of Tipe, thank you. Colleagues, again, within the discipline of social sciences, in the category of doctoral student presentations, our overall winner for the best oral presentation is none other than Mahlokonolo Mashile. Mahlokonolo Mashile's title is Strategies for Promoting Uninterrupted Schooling During Customary Initiation. Voices of Rural Schools, Stakeholders in Mpumalanga Province. Our first runner-up in the doctoral category in the discipline of social sciences is none other than Natalia Weilberg. Natalia. Natalia, we will call on Samo to receive it on behalf of Natalia. Our second runner-up in the discipline of social sciences in the doctoral category is Mahabo Selepe. If at all you can get the recordings of her presentation, she got us all sitting on the edge as she presented the title, Using Africanized Play-Based Pedagogy in the Online Teaching of Mental Mathematics to Foundation Phase Learners. It starts there at the bottom. Colleagues, this is our last discipline. It is the arts and humanities discipline. And again, this was a very exciting group of students. Chamati Benjamin, you're right. You see, when the presenter of the recipients get too excited, we miss some of them. I'll be with you now. Then we will come back to that, Prof. So in our social sciences, the best oral presenter was Benjamin Chayamiti. He is within the discipline of social sciences in the category of honors and postgraduate diploma. Benjamin Chiamiti. He was not here. Was he? No, he's not here, that's why. Samu is just so lucky to receive on so many people's behalves today. Then, colleagues, we are moving swiftly to the arts and humanities discipline. And our overall winner in the category of honors and postgraduate diploma for best oral presentation is Nokolo Nwabisi Mbuli. The title, now this was very exciting and I want you to listen to this. The Mind of the Abused. The reasons why victims stay in abusive relationships. It is 16 days of activism and I found that so befitting. Why do victims stay in abusive relationships? We then move over to our master's category, and the best oral presentation by our master's participants. This candidate participated virtually. Samu, you will have to come to the front. Is Ramel Ari Afong. Ramel Ari Afong with the title, and I want you to listen carefully to these titles. It's out of the norm. Women's Empowerment and Antiretroviral Interruption, a case study. Women's Empowerment and Antiretroviral Interruption, a case study. Our first runner-up in the master's category for the oral presentation was, or is, Tapua Maefu. Tapua Maefu. Is Tapua here? Tapua, please come to the front. Samu. Colleagues, our second runner-up in the master's category within the discipline of arts and humanities is none other than Lawrence Walambuka. Very interesting title, Security, Terrorism, and Global Governance as a Way of Understanding International Relations. And our very last comes from our doctoral category, and the best oral presentation winner in the discipline of arts and humanities is none other than Vanessa Neo Matope. I almost think that Vanessa was in anticipation. She dressed to kill for this event. Adoption of artificial intelligence, another one, Prof. Matabo, to manage records in support of claims management system at the Road Accident Fund in South Africa. Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. I want to step down with a quote that I've read somewhere. When you come to the end of your journey, you've got to ask two questions. Who did you become? And the second question, and Prof touched on it, how many people's lives have you touched? I thank you.
Let us give a huge round of applause to all the winners. Thank you very much, Prof. Brown, for a sterling job that you have done, and also thank you to the ladies for being part of the panel. Now, just like Schwarzenegger, he's back. Let us welcome back David Kau.
Congratulations to everybody, to all the winners. I'm not going to stand here and start saying we are all winners. No, we're not. So congratulations to the winners. Lots of room to innovate out there, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, currently in our country, the best traffic directors are people that are homeless and are on drugs. So there's lots of, it's not traffic cops, it's not outsurance pointsmen who are sponsored, it's people that literally are directing the traffic the best, better than all the above. So there's lots of room out there to innovate and to win more awards. I think. It's crazy with traffic. I don't know if it's just me who notices. You read statistics, they say there's more and more cars are getting repossessed. These are the traffic stats. These are the stats out there. They say banks are repossessing cars, West Bank, Stanik, Netbank. But there's more and more traffic for some reason. It's like there's more and more cars. I don't know if it's innovation, because at some point, Daewoo announced it's going to make a car. These are people who failed to make a microwave. Now I've seen, they were going to sell this car for 69,000 Rand. I'm sure the ladies would know there are shoes that cost 69,000 Rand. I'm sure there's hair out there that costs near, believe it or not, Prof. A 69,000 Rand car, I can tell you now, you are the safety feature in that car. But there's more and more traffic, Prof. There's more and more traffic everywhere you go. Every day we read so many cars are getting repossessed, but there's more and more traffic. And I was in traffic the other day, and I kept wondering, sometimes as South Africans, if you think someone is driving a car that shouldn't be on the road or that's too cheap and it's not safe, there's this orange car, literally this size, guys. There's this orange car that's on the road. It is this size. The ones that the taxi drivers were shaking, there was a video that went viral. You've seen that car, eh? You find all these funny cars on the road. Next time, if you feel like the cars are too cheap, they're not safe, just lower your window. If you have to lower your window, you are the one causing traffic. But you keep reading, the stat says cars are being repossessed. I don't know if white people know this. I might be giving away secrets here. Banks haven't figured out, black people don't answer private numbers anymore. So we still have our cars. But I was doing this. This is what I was doing during lockdown. Because the government kept saying 2 more weeks. I don't know if you guys remember. The government kept saying 2 more weeks. Hey? And then we stayed home. They said 2 more weeks. And then it was 2 more weeks. And then every night the president would come, of course, 8 p.m., there's a family meeting. The president would come, fellow South Africans. There's no way you're going to be innovative when, Mr. President, where do you see the country 5 years from? Well, But they kept saying there's a committee. Eh? There was the command council. Remember, they said there's the command council that's advising the president. I don't know if you guys were in this council. They said there's professors, there's scientists, there's doctors. Eh? Every night when there's a family meeting at 8 p.m., 10 to 8, the committee gets together. Okay, guys, what are we telling the president? Guys, quickly, the president is speaking in 10 minutes. What are we going to tell him? Tell the president that the people must stay at home from 7 a.m. Go outside. COVID is not there. They can go back home 8 p.m. The COVID will come back after 8 p.m. Guys, we did everything they told us. And then the president will come. Ladies and gentlemen, from now on, we must stay home after 8 p.m. We can go out between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. No one asked anything. We all did as we were told. Remember when COVID started, people were exercising around the couch in there. Oh my God, we are going to die. We must just exercise. We are going to die. We can't go outside. People were exercising around the couch in the house. I said, oh, we go there. And then the government will come. Ladies and gentlemen, scientists have discovered COVID is dangerous from here upwards because it's airborne. If you are sitting down, you're absolutely safe wherever you are. Nobody questioned anything, guys. No one asked a single. I'm very disappointed. Even the supervisors of the country, white people, never asked any questions. No one ever asked. 2 years later, Prof, no one has ever asked the government, why was everyone's temperature 36.6? Everyone. There was no one where you went, they took your temperature and it was 34 degrees or 35. Everywhere you go. Sir, temperature gun, bring the temperature gun, bring the temperature gun. Sorry, it's not working. Give me your hand. It's not working. Sorry, give me your hip. Okay, 36.6. That is, write it down. And I'm not making this up, ladies and gentlemen. These were the stages during lockdown. These were stages. No alcohol. Remember, they said no alcohol. Then they said no smoking, no cigarettes. I'm not making this up. And then the president came and spoke. Ladies and gentlemen, scientists have discovered, the command council has exclusively told me, from now on, we cannot go grocery shopping as a couple. We must go one by one. If you go as a couple, you will die. You are in. We listened, we did. Hey, 3 days, you go grocery shopping, you get supplies. Then your wife, I want to leave the house. 3 days, your wife goes. Next 3 days, you go. And then you get to the shopping center. Hey, they had the dead people tape all over the alcohol. Remember, you go to ShopRite Checkers, you can see the alcohol, but you cannot touch the alcohol. Remember the police tape, the red, white tape that they put when they find dead bodies in Tembisa? They put it all over the alcohol, remember? Unless you guys, I guess, were buying your alcohol at Woolworths, where the alcohol has an apartment. They just closed the sliding door at Woolworths. No alcohol for you. But we listened. Nobody asked anything. Then they said, okay, you can go out, you can leave the house 7 a.m., but you must be back home by 8 p.m. Again, we listened. You wake up 7 a.m., you are outside your house now, you're jogging. I don't know about Swani. In Joburg, 7:05, there's already 2 cash in transit heists. That's to remind you, hey, this is Joburg. No cops, no police, no soldiers, no roadblocks, nothing. 11 a.m., shootout on Woodmead Drive. No police, no metro cops, no soldiers, no roadblocks. 4 p.m., you can be in a cash in transit heist you don't even know. You are on the highway, you are sitting in your car, you're getting phone calls. David, where are you? Hey, I'm in my car, I'm on the highway. Hey, Baba, you're in a cash in transit heist. I'm like, no, guys, what are you talking about? Hey, Baba, you're on Twitter. Your car is the getaway car. And then 4 guys arrive. Hey, when a Puma, the car. No cops. No police, no soldiers, nothing. 5 to 8, you are 10 minutes away from your house. 1 minute past 8. Woo! Woo! Pull over. Woo! But because there's so much corruption, the cops are overworked, they're under-resourced, they're underpaid. It's not even the police with the blue light and the van chasing you. It's an actual police with their mouth going, woo, please stop. Challenge. Woo, please stop. People think I'm making fun of the police or the country. I'm not. If you don't believe me, ladies and gentlemen, when you leave here today, when you get home, take out your phone, dial any police station in South Africa. So, hello, police station, can I for your help? Can I help you? Yes, I'd like to report a crime. Okay, where are you? I'm in Sunnyside. Okay, can you come pick us up? People think I make these things up. I don't make these things up, guys. I'm not even, last one before I let you back, Professor, then I'll come back when you wrap up. I'm not making this up. Lockdown in South Africa, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Then you go to the shop, see dead people tape all over the alcohol, fine, we can't touch the alcohol. You leave. Next time you go out, they put the dead people tape all over condoms in the shops. I'm not making this up. They put dead people tape all over the alcohol, over the lubricants, all over condoms in the supermarkets. They took off, remember they took the condoms off the shelves at the garages. Hey? And then when Nkosazana Zuma spoke, when Dr. Nkosazana Zuma spoke for the first time, remember the Zoom interview where we couldn't see her? She was on her computer against the curtain. No one, you could see she's there. No one could see. What was the first thing that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma said? We will now open the baby section in the supermarkets. What? We will now open the baby clothes section. First they banned, they took off the condoms. Then the first thing the government does, they're opening baby clothes section. We never asked any questions, guys. We didn't ask anything. Remember, and then you go back again, supermarket, 3 days you go, 3 days. The government just says 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks. I'm like, huh? 3 months later, very peaceful now for married men, for guys that are, in relationships, that are living with their partners. Guys, lockdown was so peaceful, I used to leave my phone facing up. That's how peaceful lockdown was. I was not anticipating anything from anybody. My wife would walk past the phone, the kids will play with my phone, they've got my passcodes. But there was that one moment, you're always never, if you get that one message, and ladies and gentlemen, this is for all of you, especially men, you are happy, you are with your person, you are home, everyone is happy. And then that one message comes in, hey. Don't answer, gentlemen, don't answer. Do not, it doesn't sound like hello, hi, hater. You feel it when that message comes in, guys. You know that, this message, hey, that's how, it already, the phone looks distressed when this message, hey. Don't answer, guys, don't answer. That message can only be followed by one other thing, Prof. I need a favor. Don't answer. Is this on? Can I have this mic on quickly? Don't answer the hey, guys. Don't be tempted. The hey comes, hey. You are tempted. Should I reply this thing? I need a favor. Yo. Don't answer, guys. Maybe a voice note comes in. Yeah, I had to go to the Eastern Cape to fetch my grandmother's body, and then they wouldn't let me in the taxi, so I asked for a special, and then I was sitting with the body, and then I got back to Joburg. There was no space at the morgue, and then I put the body in the fridge, but I didn't have coupons, so I asked my neighbors to keep the body for me, and now I find out that the body is the wrong body. So now I need to take back the body. May I please have 600 rand? Yeah? What? How is this a 600 rand problem? But it's a wonderful country we live in, ladies and gentlemen. I know we have our own problems. I know we have our own problems. And I think we will get through them. We can't give up. You guys, as innovators, are the future of this country. We have to make a plan. We have to do something. Whatever you do in your endeavors, never ever ask a politician a question. You will never get an answer. You can ask the easiest question in the world. Mr. Minister, what is the time?
Well, David, thank you very, very much for that question. I'm glad you asked that question. A very, very important question that you may ask. Well, David, you may recall it was in 1994 when we got together as the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Time. And we said one must get together with the Parliamentary Portfolio, with the NGC, with the PEC, with the regional groupings and the ward councillors, the Women's League, the Youth League. And we must say, why is it the majority of time is still in white hands? That is why our black people are late for award ceremonies, they are late for tombstone unveilings, they are late for funerals, because our black people are not yet in control of their time. Therefore, what I'm trying to say to you, David, and the viewers at home, what I'm trying to say to you is, just because the long arm of the clock is facing 12 and the short arm is facing 3, it doesn't necessarily mean it's 3 o'clock. It is merely a suggestion.
So please continue with your afternoon. I will come back and wrap up later when...
Thank you, David. Let's give him a round of applause. If I was to give David a title, I would say he is organized chaos. Right. Let's now move on to the next awards, the CS and CSET Innovation Awards. May I call the following colleagues to join me on stage: Prof. Mapoli and Prof. Kuvarega and Prof. Magwe to come on stage. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, I think as they're still walking, at least let's accompany them with more applauses. Okay, are we ready with the awards? Are we ready? Okay, for Best Poster Award category, first prize goes to, drum roll, Kabelo Litwaba. Congratulations, Kabelo. Well done. And for the second prize, it goes to Sipo. Joking. It goes to Selisha Suklal. Congratulations, Selisha. I missed those 2010 days when they were vuvuzelas. Congratulations, Alicia. Then for third prize is Tobo Mutrolo Muna. Congratulations, Tobo. And lastly, for this category, Best Poster Awards category, let me call Marty Oosthuizen. Well done, Marty. And for the next category, titled Best Exhibition Awards category, let me see if I'm following the script correctly. Yes. Okay. All right, it's written Membrane Water Treatment Exhibition by Dr. O.T. Mahlangu, Institute for Nanotechnology and Water Sustainability. Well done, Dr. Mahlangu. Congratulations. And the second prize, Craft Beer Exhibition by Chemical Engineering student CS. This is a joint. Congratulations. Congratulations. David, I believe these were the guys during load shedding. Sorry, during lockdown, they were brewing their own at home. All right. Third prize, which is a joint prize, soap exhibition by chemical engineering students. CSET. Okay, so for those that just left, it was a joint award for soap exhibition, solar car exhibition by the mechanical engineering students that just left. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Okay, thank you, colleagues. You may take a seat. Let me ask rather, Prof. Makwe. Oh, we are the solar cars? Solar cars, please come. I was disturbed by the Daewoo car that David was talking about. Okay, now we're moving to the Crucible Awards. No. So let me just give a definition. I will then ask, once I've read the background, ask Prof. Meiwa and Prof. Makwe to join me on stage after I've read the brief. The Crucible Awards, this is a competition for startups and projects already supported by the DITTC through the Startup Academy, which is part of the venturing services offered by the DITTC. Through the venturing services, the DITTC assists staff and students who wish to start technology-based businesses based on their IP they have created. Selected participants are provided with extensive training, mentorship through the Startup Academy and the rest of the value-adding services provided through the venturing services. The participants in the Crucible include multiple award-winning startups by Unisa students, as well as technology projects by Unisa staff members. The standard was very high. Without further ado, here are the participants. The winners are Bonginkosi Mabaso for ANN Connect, and here's something exciting. Bonginkosi, he receives 50,000 courtesy of the IDC. Congratulations, Bonginkosi. Thank you very much, Bonginkosi. Okay, are you gonna flight it? Great stuff. All right. Another winner is Harry Ngwangwa for zirconium-based 3D dental implants. He received 30,000 courtesy of the IDC. Is Harry in the room? Okay, where's the lady that was receiving all the gifts? Is he here? Harry? Okay, Prof, you can come and receive on behalf of Harry. You did very well. All right. The last recipient for the awards is Tapelo Mukole and Mercia Mkansi for Academic Rating Index. They walk away with 20,000 courtesy of the IDC. Are they here? Anyone that can receive it on their behalf? Okay, we'll contact them after the event. Okay, let me just also read. I think, is there somebody that can receive? All right, a very important disclaimer. All right, a very important disclaimer whilst you ladies are still standing here. The funds can only be used to advance the projects. Projects are also eligible to have access to cloud space courtesy of Amazon Web Services. These are the partners on the project. Let's give them a huge round of applause. So, Prof. Meiwa, we made an invitation for people to post and to interact on the social medias. So there is an award for the person who posted the most. Can we flight the name of the person who posted the most on the social media? Michelle van Veek. Thank you, Michelle. Just check it. Yes. Okay, there's a People's Choice Award for the Crucible. And we have joint winners. So what we did, I think it was on Wednesday, if I remember well, we invited members of the audience that were participating to vote for the best presentation that they received. And collectively, the crowd agreed that these two should be given an award. That is ANN Connect and EcoBar. Yes. Thank you, colleagues. All right. Mr. Noma, are you still around? Should the professor still stand? Okay, cool stuff. Now, today we had another presentation event, which is called the Forge, as part of the Unisa Innovation Challenge. This is a program that supports Unisa students to develop innovative solutions to societal challenges. The participants go through an extensive assessment and training process that starts with regional and virtual pitching sessions, which are then followed by intensive 3-day training on the mechanics of translating ideas into viable businesses. Thereafter, students are expected to submit a fully fledged proposal, which is then evaluated by Innovation Challenge Selection Committee, which comprises representatives from all colleges at Unisa. This committee then selects those projects that will proceed to the finals, which are taking place today. We're all part of it just next door. The finals are judged by a panel of eminent and highly experienced judges drawn from funders in the technology innovation space, business support professionals, and other business experts who have extensive experience in supporting enterprises from early stages to maturation. Out of the initial 118 pitches, we now have 15 finalists vying for the prize on offer. The prize include seed funding up to 100,000, entry to the Startup Academy, mentoring, international exposure subjects to terms and conditions, cloud space courtesy of AWS subject to terms and conditions. The winners of the annual Unisa Innovation Challenge editions are first runner-up, Harry Gwangwa, the zirconia-based 3D printer dental implants. Okay. This guy says I must open my WhatsApp. I don't know why. Okay. Hey, these guys. Prof Mayo, these guys are giving me unnecessary work. I'm busy avoiding debt collectors now by keeping my phone on flight mode. Okay, let me check Basandas. Okay, right. Hey, yeah, ne? Okay, in no order. Okay, let me call July Mnisi. Great stuff. Congratulations, July. I suppose since you have won in December, we'll call you December now. Great stuff. The second winner is Gift Dilawe. Okay, what's written here? It's written Dilawe. Okay, Dialwe. Okay, Prof Les, can you join us on stage? You are being summoned. Great stuff. Gift Dialwe. Gift Dialwe. Hey, yeah, this guy is protective of his name. Don't worry, I'll buy you a goat to appease your ancestors. Okay, let me then invite Sibongiseni Ntlabati as one of the recipients. Give him a round of applause. Sibongiseni Ntlabati. That's the name that is written here. Eh? She's on the line. Oh, it's the guy who was on the line. Great stuff. All right. The next one is Bonginkosi Mabaso. You were dressed for the occasions, Bongsene, to clean house. That's good, my man. Lastly, our last winner for the Forge 2023 Unisa Innovation Challenge is none but other Felicia Mhlanga. Well done, Felicia. Thank you, Felicia. Okay, we are done. You may sit down, thank you. I know David said, we are not all winners. Yeah, in the spirit of humanity, we are all winners. Once again, let me invite on stage Mr. David Kau.
I think in wrapping up, can I please have a little bit more volume? Not too much, not all of it, just a little bit. Obviously, we won the Rugby World Cup, ladies and gentlemen. I think a round of applause deserved to Guy volume to the Springboks. So the Springboks almost gave us a heart attacks, at least 2 in a row. 3, but the first 2 I think were the most severe. But I don't know if people are aware, in the middle of us almost having heart attacks, Springboks semi-finals, and then out of the blues, in the middle of all that, Springboks this, then someone says to me, yeah, but did you know Bafana was playing yesterday? I'm like, what? Bafana was playing. In the middle of all of this, Bafana decided
They are going to play. I'm like, playing what? PlayStation? Like, no, they had an actual soccer game. I'm not even making this up. So, turns out Bafana Bafana had about 3 friendlies, not just 1, 3. In the middle of that 2-3 weeks, during the rugby Springboks leading to winning the World Cup back to back, Bafana Bafana drew, obviously. They drew 2 out of the 3 games. But do you know who they played? Do you know who Bafana Bafana played? Swaziland. Of all the countries, let me explain, guys. There's no soccer league in Swaziland. So the Swaziland national soccer team are all the people that play soccer in Swaziland. Someone picked up the phone from Bafana Bafana. And brr, brr. Hello? Ita? Sure. Who's this? Bafana Bafana. Serious? Okay, what do you want? Do you guys want to play? Play what? Online? No, like on. No, guys, play. Then I had a fight with Mo Flavor. DJ Mo Flavor is on 947 because he tweeted that he doesn't like it every time Bafana Bafana is playing. It's always compared to the rugby team, the cricket team. And I said to him, look, most of us didn't even know Bafana Bafana was playing. I'm not making this up. You can check our social media between me and Mo Flavor. Then he says he watched the Bafana Bafana game on Facebook. I'm not making this up. I thought Safa, maybe Danny Jordan took some money from Banyana Banyana. They sent the camera crew to a Bafana Bafana game. No. It was a spectator with their own phone on their Facebook who decided they are going to record the Bafana Bafana game and said, I'm not making this up, guys. I'm not making this up. Do you understand? I mean, you guys were there during the World Cup. You were there. You were present. Let me try and explain this. Let's say you are married, you are happy, you are in a relationship, you are with your wife, you are at the park, or you are at Gold Reef City, you are in Sun City, say, you are posting pictures of you and your wife and your children, you are having fun, and then your side chick just posts a boomerang of herself in a panty. Out of the blue, she just posted a boomerang of herself. This is what Bafana Bafana was doing during the moment we were having. But ladies and gentlemen, before I leave you, normally, that the program director, when occasions like this finish, there's a position in government called DDG, Deputy Director General. If we are all honest, no one knows what does the DDG do. No one, not even the government, know what does the DDG do. The DG is the Director General, they sign all the tenders. The HOD, Head of Department, they sign all the tenders at provincial level. Municipal Manager, they sign all the tenders at municipality level. But you would have noticed, if you've ever been to a government function, and there's a vote of thanks, it's been done by the DDG. Even if the DDG was not invited to that function, at some point during the evening, Boma 10:20, you will see someone will arrive wearing those Gweremantashe jackets. And he will be coming to do the vote of thanks. And it's strange because they always say the same, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Minister, for coming. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you for the flowers. Even when there are no flowers at the DDG will thank you for the flowers. But the strangest thing for me, I don't know if it's going to happen today with the professors that were here helping out. The minister will be called on stage to be thanked. Someone will bring flowers, and then most times they will give the minister a photo frame as a token of thanks, which is very confusing, and I'll tell you why. So you have the minister being given a photo frame to thank them for coming, and there's a photographer taking a picture where the minister has been given this photo frame.
Then later on, the picture is developed and the minister puts the picture in the same photo frame. So the next time you see the photo frame, it has a picture of the minister holding the photo frame, but now, now it's in. I'm not making these things up, guys. So maybe innovatively, this may be just an idea. You guys can run with it. And I think this will help us avoid all the bad reputation and all the corruption stories that we read about government in newspapers. So I have an idea. So if you're a minister, typically a term used to be 4 years. And then at some point it became 2 years. And then Jacob Zuma made it 6 months. So you can be a minister from anywhere from 6 months, 18 months, maybe 4 years you finish if you are lucky. So I think from now on, as an idea, and you guys maybe will understand because you are very innovative, let's figure out which minister is going to which functions for their term in government. And then we arrange in order. So let's say a minister goes to a function, they call the minister, thank you very much. We'd like to thank you, minister, for coming. We have for you a Mercedes-Benz S600 AMG Y-Pass. For you, minister, take this Y-Pass so that you see the future. As you see, you look forward, they clear the route for you. But we plan. That's the first function. The next function, the minister goes to, minister, thank you very, very much. From the Glass Manufacturers Association of South Africa, we want to thank you and give you a Mercedes-Benz S600 AMG windscreen. Minister, that you can see the future clearly as you look forward and guide. Go to the next function. Minister, on behalf of the Steel Manufacturing Association, we want to give you the body of a S600 Mercedes-Benz AMG. There is no windscreen, there are no wipers, minister. We just want to thank you with this body. Fast forward a few months later, minister has gone to a few functions, goes to another minister on behalf of the Rubber Manufacturers Association of South Africa. We want to thank you, minister, with 4 tires and rims of a Mercedes-Benz S600 AMG. There is no car, minister, it's just the tires. We want to thank you silently as the tires move on the road. One day the minister is stopped by the Mail and Guardian driving an S600. The reporters are taking pictures. Minister, how can you afford an S600 Mercedes-Benz AMG? The minister can innocently stand in front of newspapers, television, and say, well, I put it together myself. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a good afternoon and a good morning. Thank you very, 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 very much. For me to be here, I feel very, very privileged. I think I'm surrounded by some of the brightest minds in South Africa, in Africa. And I hope your ideas are going to live beyond this hotel, beyond this campus. And just because you didn't win today, I did a show called So You Think You're Funny a couple of years ago at Dadesipo. I think today, some of you might know, some of you might not know, the first winner about 13 years ago was Fisonene. The second winner, second season, was a girl called Anne Hesh. Celeste Ntuli lost to Pop-Ups in the second season. She came second. Tapelo Tips, Shampunizer, was in season 1. He never won. Tats Nkonzo, Mtawelanga Nkonzo, made it to number 7 in season 1. There's 5 or 6 other comedians I can name that are in the top 10 of comedians in this country, but they never won the actual competition on television. But they went on and developed themselves. We helped where we could, and they've become some of the biggest comedians in this continent. So please do understand the position that you are in. You have the support in this room. There are resources out there. You cannot give up on an idea. You can't give up on an idea, especially where there's a competition or a prize, because that means there was someone who was better or who had a better idea or a better performance. Not that yours didn't matter or it's not a good idea. So please take that with you. I was excited just sitting here listening to all the ideas that are winning, but I do pray and I hope that they are going somewhere beyond this room. Thank you very much. My name is David Cow. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much, David. David started a lot of careers, as he has indicated. Some of those are movie stars, they are TV stars today. Thank you very much for contributing to the arts in South Africa. Let's give him a round of applause. We are at the end of the program. Prof. Meyiwa, let me take this opportunity to thank you and your leadership. Your team is doing great work. I know Ayanda goes all over the place, mobilizing, getting people to support these initiatives. You did say the other day that he works with a very lean team, and his lean team doesn't sleep. It works very hard to make sure that all of these students, they understand the value of innovation. It's not easy to organize boot camps. It's not easy to organize these trainings. It's not easy to even get the network to work. We normally have sidebar conversations with Ayanda. He speaks passionately about innovation and building an ecosystem for innovation in South Africa. Being a person that works in the city of Tshwane, we have these conversations with him to say, let us strengthen these working relations. Let us make sure that we contribute and create opportunities for young people in South Africa to be the next Bill Gates. So we have those conversations with him. You've got a solid team that is working under your stewardship. When you find time to appraise them, give them a pat in the back and say you have done well. Let us give them a round of applause. Let me take this opportunity as well to thank the sponsors for this event. Let me take the opportunity to also thank everyone who has been in attendance from day one. Let me also take the opportunity to give thanks to the Unisa management present today who assisted with the awards presentation, as well as appreciate the staff and team members from DITTC, as well as our host venue today from Southern Sun. And I would like to call upon Harry Bupape to do the official vote of thanks. Let me also take this moment to say thank you, Mr. Noma, for gambling with this guy from Masipala to drive your program. Thank you very much.
Colleagues, a very good afternoon to you all. Mr. David, I can confirm that I'm not a DDG. I can also confirm that I was actually not in the program, I was just dragged. Like the DDG. So, and then I've been given a list of people I have to thank. It is handwritten. And whoever is not in the list, it just means straightforwardly, so you don't have to be thanked. Program director, you are not in the list. Thank you very much. It's been a very exciting day, and we are really thankful of the contribution, the arrangements, and everything that happened, because it happened because of you, your dedication, your commitment for this to happen. We really thank you for it, and we are really appreciative. The day was a success. The festival was a success because of you, and we thank you very much. And then there are also people that we really need to thank, the sponsors and the partners, Adam and Da Adams, thank you very much. Amazon Web Services, I was told that you need to be thanked hand in hand. Spur and Fisher, Industrial Development Corporation, Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, the Department of Science and Innovation, National Intellectual Property Management Office, Oyanda call it NIPMO, Technology and Innovation Agency TIA, Chaya Machabela IP Attorneys, and the City of Swani. We really thank you for making this, for the sponsorship, for making this event possible with the resources that you made available for us to ensure that this, the event succeed in the manner it did. So, and thank you very much. And there are also people that we felt that we should thank. And I will start with Professor Meua, the Vice Principal, Research Postgraduate Studies, Innovation and Commercialization. She is our boss. We normally laugh louder than we do today when she's absent. But today she's present, we have to not really laugh that loudly. Our VP ICT, that is Chief Information Officer, CIO, Menakani, thank you very much for your presentation and address. And it was really thought-provoking, and we really thank you for such a presentation. Professor Nkosi just left, the Executive Dean of the College of Human Sciences. Prof. Makwe, thank you very much, the Executive Dean of the College of Education. Professor Mapodi, the Deputy Executive Dean of the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. The Executive Director of Research and Innovation, the Executive Director of Research, Innovation and Commercialization, Professor Les Laboskachne, Professor Mate, Professor Kovarenge, Professor Feleni, Dr. Zolan Diose, from the NRF for the keynote address, Dr. Kele from NASI for the keynote address, panelists, judges, Dr. David Kau, the organizing team, as well as the guests, all of you, and the participants. And lastly, our host, the Southern Sun, we really thank you. The program director, as I indicated that you are not in the list. I cannot thank you, but thank you.
Okay, one last announcement. The winners of the Forge competition, we are requested to come on stage for a group photo. Okay, then we are done for the day. Please be safe. Enjoy the festive break. Those that are going on holiday, please enjoy yourselves. God bless.